kind of inspiration, the momentum into taking our next steps in the future of India. Now we have another great session coming from, I would call it the hotspot of the world, Fintech industry. This is one industry where particularly India has proven to the world that yes, we can do anything in such a short span. We have shown them who we are. That's this particular industry. So we have once again the stalwarts of this industry addressing us on this session. May I request Mr. Srini Sundar, founder and CEO, Unanu, Dr. Rajaram Venkatraman, Chairman, Head FICCI, TNSE Technology Fund, kindly come on to the dais, sir. A detailed bio of the speakers would be played on the screen for you. You can make use of that to understand the background of the speakers. And kindly maintain silence because these are going to be the sessions that would transform India and the world and put us in the forefronts. Please maintain silence. Thank you so much. Mr. Srini Sundar, you can take on the podium.
Anivarukam Vanakkam. Can you hear me well? Good morning, everyone. So, I'm going to have a session, more like discussion session. I don't have any PPT. This is going to be more on extempo presentation. The reason is, the future is growing very faster than what you think. There is a book in Amazon, you can read that. And you know where we are heading. In last 30 years, when I was doing my computer science, you used to learn DBase, 3+, DBase, FoxPro, and all Pascal, Fortran, basic language, and we used to do that. We used to keep that languages for many years. Not anymore. The world is growing rapidly. In technology, whatever you learned yesterday, particularly for students, whatever you are learning, whatever you have learned, it may be obsolete in next 1 or 2 years. So the topic what they gave it to me is huge space to talk. We need hours to talk about that. Plenty of verticals are there. We are not going to cover each and every one. So I do see here more students and MSMEs and SME founders or owners or CEOs or top management people are sitting here. What I wanted to discuss here, I'm not here to say what is Ethereum, what is Bitcoin, what is blockchain, what is hashtag. I'm not here for that. You can Google it, you can learn very well. Where the world is heading to, where India is current now, where are we in fintech space? There are 3 countries right now in fintech space. One is US, the other one is China, and India is growing very rapidly on fintech space. Multiple startups are coming like mushroom. And the best part, Chennai is the hub for fintech. I don't know how many people they know that. There is government body called Software Technology Parks of India in Taramani. They have the concept called FinBlue. They are providing the office space for 3 years for free. And they are encouraging the fintech startups to do the business there. And you have to share some minimal level of equity, you have to share it. That kind of support you are getting it right now. When it comes to technology, as I told you before, it is growing rapidly. You have to develop the soft skills first to sustain in the market. My conversation right now, it is going to be more like, I want to categorize into three. One for students or the new startup entrepreneurs. The second one, the existing business people who are seeing there is a technology to grow further. They don't know what to do. And the other one is, again, the new startup, not like youngsters, but they want to do new startup on the any space. But right now, I'm going to talk about the fintech space. So I call this as three concepts called, the business is usually, I want to categorize into two. One is tech enabler, and the second business model called pure technology space. The problem of existing business people, traditional business, what they are doing it, any business, they want to enable the technology so that they can sustain in the market, they can grow their business, they can do many things, but they are not technology company, they are traditional company, they need technology to survive. So I call them as tech-enabled companies. Pure technology companies. The pure technology companies are new startups who is going to focus more and more on technology and go as a unicorn company, you sell it or you go for IPO. I'll talk about the students a little later, where exactly you guys have to focus. I have few points, and if you really want to fintech concept, if you want to bucket or categories, you want to categorize the fintech business, it's very easy to do that. One, digital lending. Second, payments. Third, blockchain. And digital wealth management. Actually, if you search for any document, you see only four. I'm including marketplace. Whether you like it or not, we all are spoiled by digital payments or fintech concept without knowing ourselves. We make payments. We are totally pampered by these tech companies. Imagine about the banking sectors. Banking sectors are, I was having a discussion with one of the bank's COO. We're saying that, Srini, look at this. Example, GPay. I'm seeing millions and millions of transactions are happening in front of my eyes. But the banks are not taking any revenue out of that. They are just doing it more like customer support. So what I told them, for banks, for banking industries, the competitors are not anymore other banks, fintech companies. So what banking industry is right now doing right now, they are coming out of the traditional business. They are trying to work with tech companies, making a partnership. They don't want to reinvent the wheel. So if somebody is good in some fintech concept, they are trying to merge or buying out or making a partnership, like channel partner or corp-to-corp partner, they are running the show. See, my profile, I lived in US for 20 years, moved back to India for good to have a startup here. Basically, I started a logistics person, ended up doing fintech business, and I am standing here. So we will talk about what I am doing a little later. Where we have to focus on those points, quickly I will start talking about that, is digital lending. Very popular right now in India, across the globe, but any upcoming countries like China, India, they are using the digital lending for microfinance, micro business level, they are doing it. Big time. The chaiwala is getting loan, like microfinance, through their mobile app. Many NBFCs are following the technology and they are able to provide the loan and getting the money. So fintech is phenomenally helping the country's growth, country's economic growth. Before fintech space, fintech business model, local financiers used to fund, used to get the money for some interest. Right now, banks are tied up with some NBFCs or NBFCs are coming into the game and they are able to give the loan. Imagine, 20 years before, if you want to buy a car or scooter, if you are trying to get a loan from the bank, you have to wait for a couple of days or a couple of weeks. Now, just in one tab, that credit history will be pulled up in a matter of seconds and they will decide the loan right away. So the technology is easing the process of the business. Whatever the technology, mainly for students I'm saying that, whatever the technology you want to build as a startup or you are going to work, main factors you have to build, it has to solve the problem. We can't just build the product and try to sell it. Solve the pain and try to reduce the cost. And it should be more user-friendly. These are the main points. And fintech space is taking those things and growing big time. And next thing is payments. Pay as you go. You go to make my trip, or you buy movie tickets, or buy shoes, or buy phone. EMI concept is there. You just click that EMI and move on. But they may be charging 80% or 20% or 24%. But imagine, now people can afford anything what they want. So digital payments process is really helping. The more credit, there is more economic growth. So India is going towards that. More like Western culture, but India is going towards that. When we are talking about blockchain, it's a huge space. India is still catching up on that. It has, and it requires tons of money on that. Blockchain is really helping on cryptocurrencies. India is still debating whether they want to take it or not for various reasons, mainly because of laundering and terrorist attack may happen, or the money will flow through blockchain because it's all token exchange and key exchange. So there is no control on the currency. That is the reason the government is still holding, or they may come up with their own digital currency to hold the process. But eventually the digital currency will come based on some rules and regulations. It is going to come. So I am touching all those points. The reason because how and where we have to focus, that is very, very important. And particularly on blockchain, we build the blockchain product for our business, mainly for track and trace. So there is no duplication. If there is a duplication, there is an audit trail. You can completely monitor every transaction. You can see it in the blockchain through hashtags and other things. Blockchain is going to be the future. But in India, it is catching up for various reasons. It is getting delayed, but it cannot be avoided. I think we have to focus more on blockchain solutions. Mainly on fintech space, it is unavoidable, but other space also it is catching up. Digital wealth management, it is an amazing space. I'm not sure about India. When I'm seeing the college kids, I'm seeing many things globally. It is not just only for India, because all this college kids are going to be in some country or some other place in the globe, are going to be in India, or you will be working somewhere. But imagine about the digital wealth management. Citi or Goldman Sachs or all big wealth management companies will be paying to the consultant heavy money, 6 figures, 7 figures in dollars, to just give you a wealth management solutions. That is getting replaced by AI, artificial intelligence solutions. You will be making millions and millions of money, but you need to invest somewhere. Where to invest? You have to depend on some wealth advisor. Now that position is getting replaced by the AI-enabled solution provider, wealth management solution provider. Based on the data, what they have, all the pattern, everything, they are organizing it, analyzing it, and helping to make the solution. Next, I like to talk about the marketplace. Individually, everything is big vertical. Marketplace, we are not buying and trading the currency through a fintech space, but eventually, even when they introduced Demat account a couple of years before in India, it was a big thing. But imagine last 20 years, where are we right now? So if you are talking about marketplace, marketplace is nothing but you are connecting two parties. It can be shipper or the receiver, or buyer or the seller. The same way, fintech space are communicating with many service providers. It can be grid, the credit card companies, or many companies are coming into the game and they are offering the solution. You may think that you are buying like blanket purchase order. They are giving the blanket solution. So the companies are working with the multiple banks. It is more like a neobank. You don't need a physical bank to operate any business. The things are changing rapidly. So these all are the main points we have to consider to be in business on the fintech space, or to start a fintech space business, or collaborate with the fintech. I like to talk about existing business on the fintech space. If I am not tech enabled on the traditional business, I am done. Many companies are swiping out the business, existing business, just because of the technology. 20 years before, Amazon was not there, 20, 25 years before. Take US. Many businesses are gone because of that, the technology presence. All the existing business should be awake, wake up, and look for the solutions to make the business run smoother, and they have to invest money on the technology. They shouldn't develop, in my opinion. They have to tie up with existing tech partner to run the show. Why do we need a technology on the existing business? Any trader, he needs to have GPay enabled. You can buy chai or something. You know, chai, you can have it. You can pay 10 rupees by GPay. It looks simple for you. Imagine about the other side of the traditional businessman. All cash transactions are gone, very limited. Take trucking business. My father used to bring cash in Goni bag. Those days were gone. I am not doing single transaction cash. I am doing everything online. So if you are not enabling the tech space, particularly fintech space on existing business, you will be faded. So you have to choose the right technology to be in the existing business, traditional business, to make your business to sustain, to compete, to make more money, or be in the business. Otherwise, they will be gone. So, pure tech business. Here I am stepping out of fintech concept, and I have my personal view on soft skills, mainly for the students. Those days, I was watching some video about Ratan Tata. Those days, maybe my father age, when you are in a company working for some time, you want to start some business, you have to wait for 4 or 5 years. And our parents or even the manager will say that, you know, you have to wait for some time, gain some experience, and I will promote you to the next one. The next generation, my generation is different. The next generation, when I am seeing you, I wanted to suggest, this is not my advice, I wanted to suggest, the world is flat. This is moving very fast on the technology side. You know, or you may know better than me on many tech side. There are 2 ways you can see your future. One, being an entrepreneur, or taking a job. You can take a job after the graduation. You can work for 2 years, or you can continuously work, or you can start a business. Any business, preferably tech space. Imagine 30 years before, India was considered as only a typical offshore support country. That's it. When you bring your product, any product, it can be fintech product or any solution, you take that to any Western world, they don't see that as a great product. But the same Indians will be sitting in Google, Oracle, Cisco, everywhere. They are developing the same program there by sitting there. Only the location changed. So it is a mindset. I heard when I was in US, I don't want to mention the company name. They call, the cockroaches are going. Bunch of Indians used to go on the consulting side. But today, totally changed. Everything has changed. Freshworks is, they went for IPO. Now the stock is trading in New York. You see tons of Indians are CEOs in US companies. Many things are happening. So there's nothing related to fintech space. This is my suggestion. Start learning the pinch of entrepreneurship skills while you are studying. Tech is very important. You can start anything on the fintech model or anything. But you need to know what is happening in and around the business world. Otherwise, you just code what others are going to say. India has tons of tremendous scope to bring more and more technology on the fintech side because we have young generations, we are computer savvy, and we know what we are doing. Only we need just a slight push on the functional side, the business side, on the entrepreneurship side. That is what we are missing. But for that also, we have many groups are available. Many entrepreneurs are available as an advisor. The capital is cheap right now. Even Sequoia, Tiger Global, they are ready to come and invest on the ideas, which was not the case 10 years before. So my strong opinion and suggestion, start to learn about the business. Start learn about the fintech is not just only the B2C. It is not just you are using only the mobile app. I like to give one small example. I am running a logistics company, which is a tech-enabled logistics company. I connect the shipper and the trucker. We are in the marketplace like Uber. What I noticed, the problem is the working capital. That is a worldwide problem. How am I going to solve that? Do you want me to crib on that or whine that I have a working capital problem, or worry about that and go and fix it? So I came up with a model called freight financing at transaction level. I had a discussion with bank. I didn't invent Google or Facebook. I had a discussion with a couple of banks. We closed the deal with banks. It took almost 14 months for me to close the banks, but we are the first company to come up with freight financing at transaction level. So we are arranging working capital through our platform for our logistic transport contractors. That is a big win. We are growing now. What I'm saying is, when we are talking about fintech space, don't just think about only the mobile. I know we are having youngsters more, the payment technology and everything. We need to focus more and more on the business side. B2B, we have to focus. That is where lacking the fintech part is lacking across the globe. That is where we have to focus. If we don't know, we need to have some kind of advisory cell there, or, the entrepreneurs like us, we are ready to help you on that. So quickly, I'll touch upon a few points, and I will close my conversation. When you are going to start pure technology company, first of all, have some good concept and validate and vet the concept first. You need to have a talent to execute the concept first. How are we going to execute it? You need to have proper talents. It can be you, or you can tie up with some other students or friends or anyone. And also you need to do some market analysis. Is that really the market is in demand to create the product or not? That you have to do it. If you have that, capital is cheap. You get fund from angel investors. There are plenty of angels are here. Mumbai angel, Chennai angel, many angels are there to invest. Then if you are getting into fintech business model, you have to be very, very careful on the policy regulation. So these all are the things are very, very important to grow next level. And I see lots of youngsters here, and I want to see you all, or more than 50 to 60%, as entrepreneurs. And if you take the statistics, 90 to 95%, any startups are getting into failure mode for various reasons. That we will take it offline and we can discuss. So I hope I justified on the fintech space. I don't want to talk about what is blockchain or put some slide to talk about that. So that's it. If you have any questions after this session, we will have a conversation. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, sir. Over to Dr. Rajaram Venkatraman, Chairman, Head FICCI, TNSC Technology Panel. We apologize, there was a delay in starting the session due to some technical issues. And we now have Dr. Rajaram Venkatraman.
Yeah, happy afternoon. I see a full crowd here while the slides are coming up. So the topic, Srini has given a very good base on fintech, a very practical viewpoint. So in the next 10 to 15 minutes, I will touch upon why fintech is important, right? And what are some of the growth areas in fintech, the opportunities if for jobs as well as for startups to explore, and how India is positioned in the fintech area. That is the focus of my talk. So, here, yeah. Next slide, please. Yeah, one of the trends, if you ask anybody, can you say with 100% certainty that something is going to happen? It will be very, very rare that you will have 100% certainty. But we have a mega trend before us, which has 100% certainty of happening, is happening as we speak. Industry after industry is getting reimagined and disrupted by technology. That is called digital transformation. It is, on the one side, it is a disruption. On the other side, it is a transformation. It is like a moth to a butterfly kind of effect that is happening with the digital. So considering every industry, the financial services industry has been the most innovative, most adaptive for new innovations, and where there is a whole lot of investment happening. So if you take the banking, financial services, yeah, the next slide, please. Financial services or insurance, there have been a spate of innovations that have been happening. Yeah, next one. So the whole process, as Sundar said, buying your coffee with your iPhone or Android, two very complex processes have all been in the financial services space, have really helped people transform various processes. So if you see, anything with respect to digital is exponential in nature. So people don't talk about 10, 15% improvement. People talk about 5x, 10x, that kind of growth and volume. So e-commerce growth, if you see in the last 2-3 years, 35% compounded annual growth rate. This is a phenomenal growth rate. Similarly, mobile commerce. And how many of you know India ranks #1 in the world in terms of real-time digital payment transactions, right? So India today, if you take the startup ecosystem, with the USA leading it, China second, India is third now. And if you see some of the digital payment growth rate, India is leading the world in many parameters. So the clear motto, the next slide please, is presence-less, paperless, and cashless. Right? Presence-less, irrespective of where you are located, you should be able to do the transaction. Paperless and cashless. I think if you can adopt this and redefine all your processes, then I think that is where the opportunity is. Hereafter, whoever is coming out with new ideas, your drive should be this. If you can come out with something which is presence-less, paperless, and cashless, then you are in the fintech game. Yeah, next slide, please. In terms of the geographical market size overall, still North America leads with a 38% market share, but Asia Pacific, Asia is doing very well in terms of growth rate, even though it is 22% now in the world, but overall the growth rate has been the highest in the world. So in a matter of 3 to 4 years, Asia will be leading the world in terms of fintech market size, beating US. Yeah, next slide, please. So we are on a bullet train, right? If you see some of the statistics, it is very important to know some numbers. India, how many startups are there totally? More than 60,000 startups are there in DPIIT registered. Out of that, 10%, 6636, are the number of fintech startups in India. And the size of the industry is $31 billion in 2021, and is estimated to be $150 billion. In a matter of 4 years, we will be 5 times the existing market size. So the fintech transaction value is likely to grow from 66 billion to 138 billion in a matter of 4 years. There are various subsegments, as Srini talked about. We have payments, lending. These are the two major ones. Apart from that, wealth technology, personal finance management, insurance technology, regulation technology, these are all very big areas. And see, one of the important things is, as a startup, you need vitamin M, money, right? When you want to grow, when you want to scale. So that is where the ecosystem in India is vastly improving. Apart from government, which is doing a lot of seed level support, the VC funding, the HNIs, high net worth individuals, the angel investors, those are also very active. And there are a number of deals that are happening as we speak, are really very high. So as of April, we have 16 fintech companies which have gained unicorn status. That is more than $1 billion market valuation. And UPI, you all know, it has been on an exponential path. Next slide, please. So both in terms of volume and value, the UPI has created a revolution in the world. Now the whole world is watching the kind of things happening in India. See, on the one side, figuratively, you are seeing so many country presidents and prime ministers visiting India in the last 1.5 months. But overall, India, in terms of GDP growth, India is the topmost one today, as we speak. And whatever is happening, everything is getting the attention of global players. So I think fintech, what kind of, next slide please, what type of difference it makes, right? Apart from cost reduction, which is a huge thing, productivity enabler, it creates a clear differentiation of your product or service, improved retention of customers, and the ability to create new business model around it for additional revenues. These are all powerful capabilities. Next slide, please. So the importance of fintech, why is fintech important to India? Right? This is a very, very important question. Economic growth, right? The payment segment has been a major enabler. So we need a number of jobs to be created, and we need the GDP growth. And both are getting aided by fintech. Every 1% increase in electronic payments costs us 104 billion in consumption of goods and services, right? The moment something is enabled, additionally, so much of consumption happens. When there is a payment system which is very friendly, and you can buy anything from anywhere in India, right? That is where the beauty comes in. Financial inclusion. So the unbanked population, those in rural areas, they all can be connected through fintech. So it is very, very important that we have an inclusive growth for India. So that is helped by fintech. Speed and quality of innovation, that is also enhanced by fintech, no doubt about that. So see, one of the things digital enables is reduces the cost of transaction, whether it is the transaction cost or the cost of capital. Everything gets reduced when you use digital, because you employ less number of people than the regular one, and you have a totally redrawn process, and your business sustainability and scalability gets enhanced with the digital, no doubt about that. And in terms of transparency and audits, so the moment you start doing digital, there is no question of having 2 books or doing some fraud transactions. To a large extent, there is a transparency, there is everything is very clear, crystal clear. There is a digital footprint which enables you to be tracked. That gives confidence to various investors. So the new value streams can be mapped with new business models around, for example, Srini talked about Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies. This is going to be a major thing with the RBI driving it in the future. So in terms of market curation, structural transformation, there is a whole lot of things that are happening. Neobanks, the Fintech, insurance tech, there are new things coming which will make the entire process as well as our life much, much easier. And there is a whole lot of regulation also that is coming. And it creates a collaborative culture. See, earlier the bank was very closed, whereas today you have open interfaces, right? Multiple parties, depending on what is available, you have open interfaces. Thereby you can access new services and you can put together new business models, peer-to-peer lending, and whole new type of business models are coming with the Fintech. And scale, I think, is unquestionable. The scale of the industry really enhances with the digital. And, of course, it makes it borderless. So you're not anymore, you're talking about Chennai, Tamilnadu, or Tiruchi. You are today, if you are a Fintech company, you are going global, right? So, example, Bank Bazaar and, Vedantu, there are so many companies, Paytm and all of these are today global brands. So, yeah. Next slide, please. Couple of slides. Next. Yeah. The Fintech opportunity, which we saw, payments, SME lending, consumer lending, insurance, new age, banking tech, brokerage and wealth management. These are all very, very big themes. Next one, please. Yeah, some of the sample of Fintech companies which have done very well in India. Many of them have become unicorns in a very short time period. I think that is the power of Fintech. So while companies take, for example, the Tata Group or TCS or Infosys would have taken maybe 20, 25 years to reach that status, the Fintech companies are doing it in 1/5 the time, right? In 4 to 5 years, they are becoming unicorns. Next. So these are some of the areas, payments, payroll, expense. For those who want to do startups, I think, the opportunities, the space to really address, to explore are very huge, whether it is on lending, insurance, payroll, digital banking, wealth tech, consumer payments, mobile wallets, tax, trading. There is multiple opportunities. See, all you need to do is to look at the existing business process of how things are happening. Can we make an improvement? Can we make it automated? Can we reimagine the way things are done? See, if you take insurance today, there is an accident. It takes about 4 or 5 days to get back your car, right? From the insurance coverage. So for you to send the details and then the surveyor to come and do all that. Whereas in the US, if there is an accident, immediately you can photograph and send it to the surveyor. Surveyor will, up to $1,000, up to $2,000, surveyor will just say in a matter of 5 minutes or 2 minutes, he is going to approve it. Then the next day you can get your car. So the simplicity that happens. See, this is talking about how the evolution of a Fintech ecosystem in India, next slide please, has come about. So in the interest of time, I'm going to go very fast. Digital payments, next one, 1.0 to 3.0, and to now we are going to 4.0, right? And there is 160 times it has grown from 2004 to 2020, right? These are all unimaginable numbers, really exponential growth. Yeah, next one. We have a fantastic enablement. It is like adding fuel to the fire. We have a fantastic policy framework, availability of growth capital. There is a huge market demand. The one thing which they all need is future skilled human capital, right? This is where we are lacking. And that is where the students and the next generation, the people are who are coming out are going to be the, you have to be future skilled. So, yeah, next please, next. Yeah, government initiatives. As I mentioned earlier, the incubators, accelerators are helping a lot. I will touch upon, I'm not going into the various programs of the government, policies which have really helped in the process. I will briefly touch upon WhaleTech Technology Business Incubator. I am, I run this. So just quickly to give you a flavor of what we have done. I'll take 2 minutes. We have 235 plus startups registered. We are the biggest, incubation setup, university-based incubation system in Chennai. We have additionally 50 plus startups in pre-incubation, 15 strategic partners, including Google, Amazon, Zoho, all those. We have international mentors from Stanford, Google, Amazon, Twitter, and as well as leading entrepreneurs from India. We are associated with the Stanford Seed Spark program. Some of our, at least about 18 startups from WhaleTech TBA have undergone a Stanford Seed Spark program cohort. So our startups have filed more than 40 IPs, international journal papers, 40 plus awards, Best Incubator Award right at this stage in 2018. 3 major programs of the government, and now it is 4. We have Nidhi Center of Excellence, Nidhi Prayas, Idea to Prototype, Maithi Awards. Then we have SIDBI, Startup India Seed Fund program. We are associates to SIDBI, partner to EDII, TANSIM, Tamilnadu. I think I can go on and on in terms of angel investors, in terms of now our valuation is $500 million of our startups today. And the number of jobs created is 800 plus permanent jobs and 2,000 plus temporary jobs have been created. So this is just a flavor. What next? I think these are next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide. Yeah. Yes. I know, Mr. Raghunathan is behind me now. Yeah. Next slide. Yeah. So this is where, if you see the fintech jobs, who are the people who are employing fintech people? The fintech startups, obviously, the incumbent financial institutions, then educational institutes. They need people to teach fintech. Then incubators and accelerators, advisory firms. They all need fintech, next. In terms of fintech skills, blockchain, AI, ML, on the technical side, programming, data science, compliance, app development, and on the soft skills, collaboration, creativity, tech savviness, adaptability, problem solving, leadership, and all that. So I think with this, I would like to conclude saying that fintech is a huge opportunity and India is leading the world today. And not that there are, already it has grown, so there is not much opportunity. It is not like that. This is going another next 5 years till 2025, 26. This momentum is going to drive, and more we have a whole lot of parts of. If you take, for example, a simple example, fintech needs to be vernacular, to be adaptable to rural. That not many people have done. Like that, there are a lot of unexplored opportunities in which you can build your startup, and more and more things are on the way. You are entering the fintech world at the right time. That is what I would like to say. I would like to thank Mr. Raghunathan and the entire team and Mrs. Varalakshmi for allowing me to be part of this program. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We would like to do a small felicitation.